Today, let's start with a breath work together. So I'm going to share my screen and then let's do this breathing together. So the visual is when you breathe in, this bubble is going to come up. And then when you breathe out, this bubble is going to shrink. So do it just according to this I'm not going to do it for entire 5 minutes, just considering the workshop time. So I will tune it down after like 10 or something. All right, just sit comfortably and you can open your eyes looking at the screen and then listen to it and go from there. Now start to incorporate your Ujjayi breath if you know what that is. Tiny constriction of your back of the throat. Continue to breathe through the nose. Now gently close your eyes. Just follow the music. Now put both hands on the belly, feeling the belly rise as you inhale and belly down when you exhale. Now gently release your hands to your thighs and open your eyes. Return to your normal breathing. And welcome back. Well, that is a practice of the balancing breathing in and out the same length. So it will calm our nervous system down if we're in a fidget mode, or it will bring our nervous system up a little bit if we're very sluggish. So this is a type of breathing we call water breathing, and you can do that any time of the day. All right. So today I'm going to let's review last week. We talked about a few types of breathing technique. So one is called activated coffee breathing. We haven't gone through that. That will be next week's emphasis. And the second one is called balancing. Water breathing is what we emphasized last week about, we just practice this balancing breathing. It's the belly breathing. You put hands on the belly, fall and rise. And yogic breathing is the three parts: the belly, the intercostal muscles around your rib cages, and all the way to the collarbones rise. So that inhale is like from belly, chest to the collarbone, and the exhale and slowly go down. And the box breathing is also considered a balancing breathing because the equal length of inhale and exhale. So that was last week. And today we're going to go through, this is called the relaxing breathing technique. It's called a whiskey. It's like you have a sip of whiskey, you're kind of like relaxed, right? So typically the characteristics of this relaxing breathing is the exhale is longer than the inhale. And sometimes if we take the retention, so inhale on exhale retention, such as what we had box breathing last week, it can also become the relaxing breathing technique, mainly because the rate of breathing per minute is smaller. So, for example, if your normal breathing per minute is 12 to 18 12 to 18 cycles, so a cycle is inhale and exhale, it's the normal breathing. If you extend it to beyond 5 breaths per minute, then it's considered a relaxation breathing technique. So even for the boxy breathing, you can do 2 in counts, 2 hold, 2 exhale, 2 hold. That give you a shorter breath cycle, right? So that means per minute you're breathing a little more. That becomes a balancing breathing, where if you do 4 counts per edge of the box, then this one cycle of breath become much longer. Then that means per minute you will have possibly less than 5 cycles per minute, and then that becomes a very relaxing breathing technique. So this is what I want you to remember. One is the ratio, one is the rate. So these two are the key characteristics about your activation, balancing, and relaxing. So if you know these two, then you can use your tools in the right way, right? There's not one thing is used for everything. It's not one thing is only for one situation. So this is why you can learn from this workshop. The key takeaway I want you to get is how to identify certain type of technique, the breathing technique, in order to deal with your situation and condition at the moment you have. If you want to go to sleep, you can use the longer box breathing. If you want to just do a normal balancing for your a normal working 5 minutes, then you can still do the boxy breathing, but a little bit quicker in terms of the cycle. All right. So let's jump into the science behind it. Any questions? All right. So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to go through the science behind it. It's actually very, very interesting to me because to me, if I understand something, if I can connect dots, then I can use the tools appropriately. What I've often found is in the yoga workshops that I attended before is we were told the mechanics of breathing, right? So how to do this belly breathing, put hands on the belly, how to breathe. Those are the mechanics of breathing. But no one has ever taught me why I need to breathe that way, right? So here, what I'm going to teach you is why we have to do, or we can have a choice to do the way we do. So it comes to understanding of how our entire internal system works. So there is something called autonomic nervous system in our body. So autonomic meaning it's automatic. It's something we usually don't control, right? But the most interesting part is breathing can actually influence something we don't do consciously. And that's the magical part if you don't know the science. But if you know the science, it's no longer magical. You can actually control it, right? So the autonomic system, like your heart rate, your heart is just pumping by itself. You're not controlling, but by physical exercise, you can get your heart rate up. You have the HIIT, high intensity interval training, and there's also other types of um, bodily function system that you're not controlling, like your urination, your bowel movement. There is a timing, you're not controlling, and your sexual arousal. It's like a react to the system rather than you. So it was like a react, automatically react, but it's not a response. And there are two branches of this nervous system. One is called sympathetic, and the other is parasympathetic. So sympathetic sounds nice, right? You're sympathetic to people. But the sympathetic is the fight and flight. I'll talk about this more. So let's go to the first one. The first one is called parasympathetic. It's a mouthful. So imagine this monk sitting on the hill, right? Very zenful. So this is your system where you are very restful, peaceful, and we call it rest and digest. So this is when you finish food, you have a full belly, you're just like, oh, good. So the blood goes to your GI tract, go digest your food, and you have all the glands, getting all your blood going into that to support your function for digestion and rest. And your heart rate is low, decrease, right? And also your pupil is actually, this is something I would also try to identify in an experiment is after I got food, let me just see my pupil. It's good for the shorter range, so you can do reading and stuff. And sexual arousal, this is really funny. So when you're restful, you are actually really open, right? So you can actually get more inclined to sexual arousal compared to your nervous, And there's something that probably um, male experience more than female is when they're nervous, they can get a hard on. So this is one thing that directly relates your nervous system. So you need to calm yourself down in order to get yourself prepared for such romance, right? When you're in this relaxed state, you get all that's why, Netflix and chill. You get on the couch, you get relaxed and you chill. That's interesting, right? And then the other part is, so this is the relaxing part, parasympathetic. And the other part is called sympathetic branch. So it's a fight and flight. It's like you see here is a person find a tiger pouncing on him. So he's like, oh my God, what? So all of a sudden you get, this, that nervous system goes, adrenaline go up, right? And then your blood flows to your um, muscle system because you have to run right away, right? So this is the digestion, they're gone. Even if you are urges to want to go to bathroom, when a tiger comes, you don't want to go to bathroom anymore. You forget about that. Blood don't go there, right? But your heart rate increases. So you are like at this very agile, not agile, so activated state, and your pupil is very normulated for long distance. You are survey for danger, right? You are in this fight and flight mode. So this is all automatically react to the environment. And what's interesting is sexual orgasm, right? So when you're relaxed, now you get um, lovey and dovey, right? And then, but as you build up, when you are, say, having sex, right? And when you build up, your breath start to faster and faster. When you get sexual arousal, you are actually in this sympathetic nervous system activated to get orgasm. And so, see how interesting your sexual activity related to your nervous system, right? And it corresponds to your breath too. You can observe that next time when you have such situations. It's just I give you a extra pair of glasses so you can see things a little more clearly around your own life. So what do we do with breathing, right? So what happens is we don't have a tiger in our life all the time. But the tiger is what we call stress in our life. Like may it be a project deadline, may it be something you just want to finish right now, may it be, get up, oh my God, I only have 5 minutes to my workshop. What do I do? I already have that tiger in front of my face. So in order to control my response to the situation, I can use breathing technique so that I'm no longer react to a situation, I'm respond to it so that I can achieve the balance. So oftentimes in our life is the balance that we were not able to achieve very well. It's nothing one thing is good, one thing is bad. It's just when you have one thing too much, it doesn't serve you well, right? If you have too much yin, you'll be like sluggish, you'll be withdrawn, you'll be depressed. Depressed mood is a sign of too much yin. And agitated anxiety is an expression of too much yang. So what we want to achieve is the yin yang, right? In the ancient Chinese, say Chinese Buddhism or Tibetan Buddhism, all this Buddhism emphasize is really about balance. It's not about one thing over the other. So this is another key takeaway I would like to share with you is when you go back to your daily life, it's about achieving the balance. It's not about just do A or just do B. But when you encounter one, then you can use the other to respond to it. So how does it to do with our breathing? So breathing, inhale is, it corresponds to the strength and the expansion, and it corresponds to the sympathetic nervous system, right? You inhale, kind of just like stretch up, and when you exhale, you do relax. That's why usually in the yoga class, I say, inhale, reach your crown to the sky, you lengthen. Inhale, you expand your arms wide. And when you exhale, let your sit bones down to the floor, be heavy, shoulders relax, right? So that's inhale and exhale corresponding to this yang and yin. So even in one breath cycle, you have the yin and yang balance. And this is also why, the ratio of inhale and exhale is important, right? So you are controlling or manipulating, or let's say engineering your length of inhale and exhale in order to achieve your balance. right? There are many different ways of breathing. I'll teach you more later. So the key here is inhale for lengthen and strengthen, exhale for opening and release, right? So let's do one very small exercise here. When we do a yoga pose, we'll just incorporate the breathing into it. So nothing fancy. I'll move a little bit away. So sit anywhere cross-legged. Let me unshare here. Are you looking at me or you're looking at my screen?
I can see your camera.
Okay. Oh, so you didn't share you didn't see my screen at all earlier?
No.
At the very beginning, yes, with
Oh my
the
God. Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a screen.
Oh, sorry. I was sharing my presentations. Okay, so let's do this exercise first, and then I'll just briefly go through all the presentations again. So just sit normally. What we do is just a side bend, a stretch. So inhale, reach your both hands to the sky, like fingertips really stretching up. Lengthen your crown to the ceiling. And exhale, put your right hand down on the side, just tilt your torso to the right. And then relax. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend to the side, relax. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend to the side, relax. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend to the side, relax. Last time, we bend to the side, completely relax and stay there. And every inhale, reach your left fingertips to the right, lengthen more. Every exhale, just bend to the side, relax to the earth. Do one more time. Feeling your left ribcage open. Next, inhale, come back to center, reach both hands to the sky. Exhale, left hand down and relax your torso to the left. And inhale, reach your right fingertips to the left. And exhale, relax down. Inhale, reach your right fingertips to the left. Open the right ribcage. Exhale, relax. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, relax. And inhale back to center. Reach once more. Exhale, put your hands down on the thighs. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes. Just take 3 normal breathing. All right, welcome back. So let me share my screen briefly again. I was talking about the nervous system. All right. So can you see my screen now for the shared?
Yep.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, cool. All right. So the autonomic nervous system. Then we go through the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest, and then the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight and flight. And then what we want to achieve is the yin and the yang balance. So we just did an exercise where inhale, we strengthen and we expand, and exhale, we relax and lengthen, right? So the inhale and exhale by itself, you can control and design how your yin and yang gets expressed just in one breath cycle. So just as sun and moon, they both are good. Day and night, they're both good. Heat and cool, they're both good. So you need to achieve this balance in your life. And so when you understand this, how you can use your breath, then you can use your breath technique in your life, any situation you want. So this is what I would like you to get from my workshop. Any questions? All right. So we'll go on to next. This is my favorite. So the key is we want to get our nervous system to be as agile as a cat. You know, this is also why I call my website used to be Yoga Meow. It's still kind of Yoga Meow because I'm just really into when I see cat. I'm a cat person. When I see a cat, they are very agile. You know, when they need to be fight and flight, they instantly can be activated, but they can also be very chill, very relaxed, right? So they are this animal that's extremely agile to balance their life from, at least from my view, from many humans' view. So we want to achieve this agility of our nervous system. So now let's talk about heart rate variability. So maybe if you run or if you have used many, what do you call the wearables, they give you something called heart rate variability. Basically what it does is it measures from your beat to beat the heart rate change. So there is a sign that heart rate variability is a measurement of your nervous system health. Um, I was never taught this before, my own training for breath work. So it's very interesting where we just know, oh, okay, we have a measurement. What's my average heart rate per minute? But at the same time, how do we understand the heart HRV can affect our well-being, right? So what happens is when you inhale, your heart rate actually increases a little bit, a tiny bit compared to your exhale, right? So inhale, you have expansion, your sympathetic nervous system activates, and exhale is the relaxation, it reduce your heart rate. So it's not entirely even when you inhale and exhale, right? So variability, it's a sign of your nervous system's health. So sometimes you call that tone your nervous system. It's like toning your muscles, right? When your muscles are toned, your muscle can respond well, and it's elastic, right? It's agile. So same as we want to tone our nervous system, right? So when we can tone our nervous system, then we can respond to our life events very well. So heart HRV is a measurement. So remember, it's a measurement of nervous system. So now we come to one biological thing here. It's called a vagus nerve. So on week 1, I lightly touch upon the vagus nerve because of how we breathe, right? So breathing technique, what I taught on the week 1 about ujjayi breath. So you have this constricted throat, and you have the ocean wave sound, and also the belly breathing. When you have belly expand, when you inhale, and belly fall when you exhale. So these two specific ways of breathing, it actually touches your vagus nerve, right? So the vagus nerve is like longest autonomic nervous system in your body. On the left side, you see this whole nervous system. It just touch upon a lot of your important organs, right? And this specific nervous system, well, it's like nervous system, but it's called the vagus nerve. It's largely responsible for your parasympathetic response, your rest digest response, your relaxation response. So this is why when you breathe with the belly breathing and ujjayi breath, it will actually calm you down because it's toning your vagus nerve. Like it's massaging your vagus nerve. So that's the magical part. You can just use your breathing technique to tone your nervous system. And how magical is that? So now we talk about the breathing and the vagus nerve.
Hey Mary, when you say tone the nerve, what exactly do you mean?
It's like you're toning your muscle. You're training your muscle.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I would say toning is kind of, I think maybe a health well-being kind of a jargon, right? Toning your muscle, toning your skin, it's the toning. So breathing. So vagus nerve passing through the opening of your diaphragm, which is right inside your rib cage, right? Between your belly button and your rib cage. That's your diaphragm. So your vagus nerve passing through that. That's why the belly breathing will influence your massage your vagus nerve. And it's especially stimulated by deep breathing. The deep breathing usually involves the belly. When we have shallow breathing, we usually only involve the chest, right? When we breathe, say normally, we usually don't involve our belly at all. We're just like very shallow on the top 1/3 part of our chest. It's sometimes even harder to get to the lower part of our chest, right? The lower part of our chest is the diaphragm, and then even lower will be the belly, right? And you also probably have experienced in your, any time in your, sometime in your life that when you are in the traffic, someone cut in front of you, you're like that, you're breathing very shallow on top. It's almost like you're breathing on your collarbones, right? You don't involve your belly, you don't involve your diaphragm or even rib cage, right? It's like on your collarbone. So that's the very shallow breathing. And what happened is in our daily life, I would say 99.5% of time, let's say how many minutes of 24 hours of 99.5% time is your shallow breathing, right? You're not doing all the deep breathing. So that makes your nervous system very, it's activate your sympathetic nervous system. That's why we're not very relaxed. Our tiger is our projects, it's our bugs to fix, it's our email to reply. And the tiger is no longer a tiger. So our modern day tiger in many, many forms that we usually do not recognize. So therefore, breathing is your best friend to fight the tiger, right? So using your breathing to tone your vagus nerve so that you can respond to the environment and you have the ability to adapt. The response, okay, not react. When you react, it's an automatic reaction. But when you respond with consciousness, right? Let's say that's why this is a mindful practice. Your breathing, it's a mindful practice. You take your awareness from your breathing to the situation. So everything is consciously executed. It's not unconsciously reacted, right? So that's why breathing techniques are your best friend, easy accessible for you. So the key learning is, inhale and exhale, they are yin and yang, and you can controlling your inhale and exhale in order to achieve what you want, to get your sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. If you want to get things done, you get your heart rate up. You want to get your activated, then you get your yang up. You're ready for exercise. And when you want to go to sleep, get your yin part up. Do long exhales And so you start to be relaxed and you start to be very calm. And when you respond to situations, especially when you have, say, a little bit anxiety, I had sometimes I'm like, okay, I need to get this done by 5 o'clock today, but now it's 4:45. I need to get it done automatically. This automatic thing gives me anxiety, right? So when that anxiety hits you, when you're aware of it, instantly what you can do is use the breathing technique to calm mind you down. Because when you have anxiety, you cannot finish things in 15 minutes. I'm not saying you can't finish even when you're calm, but with anxiety, you definitely cannot do anything, right? Not anything, but can't do much. So calming yourself down, and definitely makes your work much, much more productive, right? So this is why if we can use breathing technique to integrate in our life, to deal with the situation on moment to moment basis, it's a very, very powerful mindful practice. And when we do that consciously, like we practice, so this is why practicing is very important, right? When you practice, and then it becomes your second nature, right? We are now training our nervous system to be agile, just like training our muscle system, toning our muscle system to be agile enough so when we fall, we don't get a injury, or not so easily to get injury, right? So now if we train our nervous system to be agile, then we don't get injured when we encounter a tiger, right? So we want to have an ideal nervous system to be like a cat. So yeah, our goal is to find balance in life, anywhere between you want to be activated, get ready to go on a hike, get ready for a date, or if you can't fall asleep in the evening, do some very relaxing type of breathing technique, and then you can go to sleep easier. So that is what I want to talk with you about, the ins and outs of breathing and our nervous system. So it's a lot to take in because it's something inside of us. It's hard to see a lot of times. When we cannot see, we cannot relate, right? Here is a cat. He is meow meow. We want to train our nervous system to be as agile as this cat. So do you have any questions around nervous systems?
I don't know if I have any specific questions, but I feel like talking about the vagus nerve has become a little bit more trendy. Like I'm seeing it come up more places. And I guess I was just wondering, is there anything additional that we should be doing? I mean, I saw on your slide, it said like humming and singing is also stimulating for it. What kind of, do you do like a deliberate practice where you're focusing on the vagus nerve, or is it just any kind of the more calming breathing, we just know we'll incorporate it?
Yeah, so very good question. So the common practice to tone your vagus nerve is the belly breathing and combining with your ujjayi breath. That's the best one, right? That's the easiest to access. So on the other part is the toning of your parasympathetic nervous system, the humming and the singing. What happens is those are actually done extensive research is the length of the chanting. So Om Mani Padme Hum, right? This is one of the very common Tibetan chant. And the length of that chant, it gives you a certain length of the breath. So this is why the rate of breath when it comes to about 5.5 breath cycle per minute, it's actually is now considered the most optimal for our entire well-being of the nervous system. This is why how lots of spiritual practices, including chanting and humming, is very it's not taught scientifically, but it was researched later actually in controlled settings, how they chant. I think it was a Gregorian, and in the Christian tradition, they also have chants. And then compared to the Buddhist monk type of chants, they're very, very similar. The Buddhist monk chant is about 5 to 5.5 breath per minute, and the Christian type of chant is about 6 breath per minute. So it's very, very close. And people, these are traditional cultural, religious type of practices, right? And this is why it's used in millennia in order to get people into the state of mood, let's say, and the state of well-being, right? Because your nervous system actually largely represents your well-being. But right now we are very much emphasized to what we can see, like the muscles, the flexibility. I can put my, foot over my head, all that kind of stuff. But what we cannot see inside of us, the nervous system, is much, much more related to the mental health. And this is something a lot of research discover in the next 20 to 50 years probably is the most important health and well-being to be addressed because our way of modern life. And you get a head start. Any questions, Eric, Fai, Regina?
No, not for me. Thanks.
Cool.
Nope.
All right. So the next one, I would like you to give you a pop quiz, okay? So, so the pop quiz is now I'm going to, let me share my screen so you can see it. So types of breathing technique, right? So now the pop quiz is, now I want to go to sleep. What should I do? Just unmute the mic and start speaking.
Whiskey breathing.
Yay! Whiskey breathing. So give me an example how you want to do your whiskey breathing.
So to me, it means like slow and steady, but like we were saying before, like that slower exhale is a lot more relaxing and calming than other types.
Right, right. Yeah, so today we're gonna do whiskey breathing, but I feel like I don't want to put you into sleep. So it's good to just figure it out because now you actually have tools in order to figuring out what kind of breathing technique you want to use when you're in certain mood state or situation. Right now, what I can teach you here is including the internal external breath retention that will lengthening your breath cycle, right? Last time I taught you the box breathing. So the box breathing is inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So now this time what I'm going to teach you is something called Nadi Shodhana. It's alternate nostril breathing. So the reason we have alternate nostril is the moon and the sun, right? The yin and yang balancing. So the left nostril corresponds to the right hemisphere of your brain. So it's the moon This is your moon part, the yin part, your right. So point your fingers to this corresponding part. So you have a physical sensation. What does it mean? So left nostril, right hemisphere. This is the yin part. And then right nostril corresponds to left hemisphere. So now you know our right hemisphere is related to your creativity, right? The creativity, your imagination, and your left one is the logical part, right? The logical part of math and the reasoning, and if you want to argue with someone, your left hemisphere is activated. Whereas when you are doing your painting, singing, dancing, your right hemisphere are much more activated. And this is why your alternate nostril breathing gives you a way of balancing the left and the right hemisphere. So it goes like this. We also use a mudra. Fold your two finger from your index and the middle, and leave the big one and what do you call ring finger to kind of pinch your nose like this. So this is how you close your nostrils. So when you do alternate, you close one at a time and open the other. So this is the alternate nostrils breathing. So usually, well, it's always inhale from left, and when you end, exhale to the left. So it goes like this. Inhale left, close left, open right, exhale from right. Inhale from right, close right, open left, exhale from left. That's one breath cycle for the alternate nostrils. So it actually involves inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. It's 2 breath cycles for one alternate nostrils breath. Okay, all right. So that's the easy version of it, right? So let's do just 3 together. I will cue you. So close your right, inhale from left, close left, exhale right. Inhale from right, close right, exhale from left. One more, inhale from left, close left, open right, exhale. Inhale from right, close right, open left, exhale. One more, inhale, left, close left, open right, exhale. Inhale right, close right, open left, exhale. Relax your hand. So that's 3 alternate nostril breathing, the normal one. So now if you want to incorporate retention, you will hold your breath on the inhale. So what we do is usually this. You do 5 rounds of inhale, exhale, and then we do 5 rounds of only intention, internal retention. So inhale, hold, close, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale. Inhale, hold, close, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale. So that's a alternate nostril breathing with internal retention. Hold in the breath, internal. So do that 5 rounds, right? And then the next one is do external retention. So you inhale, open, exhale, and then hold on exhale. And then inhale, exhale, hold on, exhale. So do that 5 more times. And the last 5 rounds is incorporate both internal and external retention. So now you have 20 alternate nostril breathing with 4 different techniques. Did I confuse you enough? You may have to write it down, right? Yeah, so I do actually have, I recorded a video so that I can, guide through. That will be like 20 breaths. So if you lost count, fine, just to do whatever at best for your situation and your time. So that is the most complicated breathing technique normally practiced by yogis. Any questions? Okay, so let's do that 1 each, which means we'll do just 4. So close your eyes, just listening to my guide closely, right? So get your hand mudra. Close your right nostril, inhale from left. Close left, open right, exhale from right. Inhale from right. Close right, open left, exhale. Now inhale from left. Close left, hold. Open right, exhale. Inhale from right. Close, hold. Open left, exhale. Inhale from left. Close left, open right, exhale. Close, hold. Open right, inhale. Close right, open left, exhale. Close left, hold. Open left, inhale. Close left, hold. Open right, exhale. Close right, hold. Open right, inhale. Close right, hold. Open left, exhale. Relax your hand and open your eyes. So that's one of the complicated, but one more thing I would like to teach you is it's called Brahmari pranayama. You probably already know if you have practiced yoga for certain years. So Brahmari is a type of bee. It's a black bee. So this actually influences your nervous system in a very profound way because you create this humming sound. And the humming sound is basically in your around the frontal lobe region. What you do is close your ears by just pressing this little bone in, so you can close your ears. For your rest 4 fingers, sometimes people just put on top of the head, but for some yogic practice, they put these 2 on the 3rd eye and the top here, like this. For extended practice, what you do is you sit and put your elbows on the knees. And so you can do this. And the sound you're creating is, it's a humming sound. So you're breathing through the nose. On the exhale, you make the sound of, and you can use different tones of the sound. Like you can sometimes you can tone like so it's really depending what you want and how does it affect your system. Try that out. There's no right or wrong. So I used to do that for 2.5 months every morning for 15 minutes. It's really, really great. It's my favorite. So inhale through the nose and exhale, make the sound. So do that. Let's do that for just 10 breaths. And you don't need to listen to me. Just do that for 10 breaths and we'll end after that. Okay, let's just get to this. Close your ears. Great, looks like you guys finished. Awesome. So I want to just close this by today's recap. We're talking about two nervous system and then the breathing of how you can control the inhale and exhale and the speed of breathing to get the ratio so that you can go on, deal with your daily life in a very conscious and mindful manner. Yeah, I hope you get something out of today's workshop. Thank you so much for being here. And today looks like I have recorded, so I'll share the recordings just for you guys on YouTube. And
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. You guys have a good rest of the day, good rest of the night.
You too. Cheers.
Thanks, Mary.
Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.